Mr. Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, 65 years ago, I was a young captain in the Indian Army, stationed in South India, in a district where there were hundreds of square miles of dense jungles. And these jungles were teeming with tigers, panthers, and leopards. Now these are really awesome animals. Some of them, some individual animals, have been known to kill and eat more than 400 human beings in its lifetime. So you can imagine the fear these animals exuded into the community. Every now and then one of these animals would come across an isolated village, a village of perhaps 60, 70 peasants, scratching a living out of by clearing the jungle and tilling the fields. And the tiger, or a panther in my case, would go into the village in daylight and would stay there for a week or more, walking up and down the roads, banging on the doors, trying to break the mud huts down. You can imagine the fear of these men, women and children experienced. Somehow or other, when the animal was quiet, they would assume it's asleep. A brave man would volunteer to go out and go to the nearest police station, who would ring the military and ask us to get rid of it. Now this was a job no officer liked, because we were not trained to kill animals. We were training to kill the Japanese. But one day, the colonel of my regiment received a request, and he called his second in command, Major Bob Carrick, and said, "Look here, Bob, so-and-so village is being besieged by a panther. Now, I want you to go there and kill the brute." And then he said, "And take young Blackford along. He'll be a handy man to have in a dangerous situation." Now, what gave him the ridiculous idea that I would be a handy man to have in a dangerous situation? I'm the biggest coward I know. I'm scared of household cats. Leave alone a 400-pound monster who can take a young calf and jump a 10-foot palisade. But orders is orders in the army, and the following afternoon, Major Carrick and I were sitting in a tree in a little clearing in the jungle. And in front of us we had tethered a goat. Now the goat knew I was there, and it was bleating with fear, "Bear, bear!" But if the goat was afraid, I was much more scared than the goat was. I'd never seen a wild animal in the wild like this. Anyway, it was hot weather when we went there, so we marched there in our regulation short pants. Before climbing into the tree, we knew it would turn cold as soon as the sun went down, so we pulled on our battle dress, trousers and blouses, and buttoned ourselves up, because we knew it was going to be cold. Then the major took his sporting rifle and tied it with a piece of string to a bough. So we didn't know how many hours we'd be sitting there. He wanted his hands free. Well, about 2 minutes later, I took out my pistol, was loading it with the rounds, and I looked up, and I saw a big panther pounce upon my goat and just almost swallow its head. I nudged the major, and he said, "Shh." He didn't have to shush me. I was just frozen stiff. I couldn't move a muscle. Anyway, the major tried to undo the knot of the string with which he had his rifle hanging from a bough. He couldn't do it. Fortunately, I had a penknife. I lent it to him, and he cut it. And then I was sitting there looking at the panther, confident that within a few seconds I'd hear the crack of the rifle and see the panther being shot. Nothing happened. I looked at the major, and to my horror I found he was holding the rifle in one hand, and with the other hand he was undoing all his fly buttons. We didn't have zips in those days. Undoing his flying buttons, and the three buttons at the back which held the blouse up to the trousers, and then he started pulling his trousers down. I thought, what's gone wrong with the man, with the man-eating panther beneath us doing this? Then he put his hands into the pockets of his shorts, which are under there, to extract his ammunition. He'd forgotten to take out his ammunition for him. So he loaded the rifle, and took aim, and fired. And the panther gave a mighty leap into the air, and then dashed into the dense shrub. And the major said, come on, Blackie, we have to get him for the kill. I said, no, sir, it'll be dark soon. We won't be able to see it. What about doing it tomorrow morning? You know, sit up there all night. And he said, no, down now. So we both got down, and the major was in front with his rifle, and I was covering the rear. See, a tiger is a ferocious animal, will charge you from the front. But a panther or a leopard, they're cunning, therefore more dangerous. They'll step on the bough of a tree or behind a bush and jump on the last man. And in our two-man cavalcade, I was the last man. I felt like bait. I knew what the panther, the goat had been feeding. We went along about 100 yards or so, and we came over a rise in a little dry riverbed, and there was a panther lying on his side with his head towards us. And the major said, what do you think, Blackie? I said, must be dead, sir. It wouldn't be sleeping in a moment like this. He said, come closer. I said, put a bullet in his head, sir. Shoot it in the head, sir. He said, no, I promised my wife that I'd bring back an undamaged pelt to put before our fireplace. I thought, undamaged pelt for his wife, and my life's at risk. Anyway, as we got closer, I said, shoot in the head, sir, shoot in the head. He said, no, 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 no. He said, throw a stone. So I started throwing stones. The stones are going all over the place, nowhere near the panther. He tried throwing stones too. It was no good. So we went closer and closer, and eventually he put the rifle, the muzzle, about 1 inch from the panther's skull, and said, kick it. I said, what, sir? He said, kick it, man, kick it. So I kicked it harder. I kicked harder. I said, it was dead, sir. He said, roll back his eyelids. I said, what, sir? He said, roll back his eyelids. I said, it was dead, sir. He said, jab the eyelid. All right, so I was jabbing the eye. I said, it's dead, sir. And so now, I've got about 20 photographs of me. It's with my foot on the panther's head, a foot on the panther's rump, holding a rifle, pistol in one hand, and all that sort of thing. And you think I'm the greatest panther shooter in the world. You think I've shot 20 panthers. But no, I haven't. The one experience in the wild was enough for me. I never want to look a panther in the eye again. The worst thing I want to look in the eye is a Toastmasters evaluator.